I've been a therapist for the last 15 plus years and I have worked with thousands of adults. And one thing I hear again and again is, I wish I knew this when my children were small. I would have done things so differently. This regret cuts deep. By the time your child grows up, you realize how important these small moments were and how crucial those first few years were for a child and for the parent. I'm a mother of two, and honestly, when my kids were little, I didn't know much about parenting. I have made a couple of mistakes myself. But today I want to share these 7 things that I have learned from my own experience and from my clients' experiences. These are the things I wish I knew earlier. And if you or your child are in the early years of the parenting journey, then this video is going to be very valuable for you. Let's start with something that changed the way I look at toddler behavior completely. This video is for the initial first 3 years of your child's life. So if you have a child who is around 3 years of age, less than 3, then this video is for you. When your child throws a tantrum or starts crying or throws things around, how you react in that moment is more important than their behavior. A toddler's brain is still developing. Their emotional center is very active, but the logical part that controls the impulsive behavior is not formed. So when they cry, they scream, they are not really manipulating you. They are not doing this deliberately to make your life miserable. They are genuinely overwhelmed. They don't even know what is this emotion, what they are going through, why they are feeling this way, and how to express it. So if you also start yelling, hitting, getting angry, your child becomes even more dysregulated. They learn that even adults cannot control their emotions. So how can they learn to control theirs? But if you stay calm, if you take deep breaths, sit with them, they slowly learn to regulate. They just learn by observing you. So remember this, you are the anchor for their nervous system. If you are calm, they will calm. If you breathe slowly, they will learn to breathe slowly. If you relax your muscles in your body, they will learn to relax it too. Now this brings me to the second point, which is probably the most important thing I have learned in my 15 years of practice. Point number 2. There's a famous experiment called the still face experiment. In this experiment, a mother interacts very normally with her baby. She smiles, she talks, she engages. The baby is happy and responsive. Then the mother becomes expressionless. She doesn't react to anything. This goes on for just 2 minutes. The baby goes crazy. The baby waves hands, points, cries, does everything to invoke a response from the mother, to get the mother's attention. This experiment shows how crucial connection is for the child. Children are constantly observing every second whether the parent is emotionally available or not, whether the parent is tuned on to the child or not. The child doesn't need any expensive toys. Your child doesn't need fancy school. Your child doesn't need educational apps. Your child needs you with your 100% attention. The child checks this by looking at your face and your facial expression and your body language. And if this connection doesn't come from you in the early years, the impact lasts for a lifetime. Trust issues will show up in their relationships. They will have attachment problems. The children will grow up finding it difficult to feel secure and safe. So put your phone down right now. Work can wait. When you are with your child, be with them 100%. But here's where many parents get confused. They think that connection means doing everything for the child and giving the child everything. They think connection means giving in to the child's every demand. No, this is not true at all. Point number 3. When your child is trying to put the shoes on and struggling, your first instinct is to do it for them. And when they are stacking blocks and when they keep falling, you want to fix it immediately. When your child is trying to eat and making a mess, you want to take over and feed the child so the child doesn't become dirty, the floor doesn't become dirty, and you don't want a mess. But remember, every time you rush in to solve the problem, to take over or do something, you are taking away the child's opportunity to learn. I know it's hard to watch them struggle, to make a mess, to fall and fail. I know it takes much longer and I know it's messy. But this is exactly how they build confidence, they build motor skills. When a child finally does something on their own after struggling, that pride on their face is real, and they build that confidence that I did it myself, and their body builds a memory, a muscle memory of having done that. So step back a little, let them try, let them fall, let them make a mess, and let them keep trying again and again. Your job is not to remove every obstacle from their path. Your job is to be there when they need support. Your job is to encourage them. Your job is to guide them how differently they can approach the problem. Now, speaking of letting them figuring things out, there is another mistake I've seen some parents make, and I made it too. The fourth point is, we parents put so much pressure on ourselves to get everything everything right, especially if you're a perfectionist like me. We want a perfect routine, perfect meals, perfect activities, perfect parenting. The child has to do everything well behaved. But your child doesn't need a perfect parent. Your child needs a present parent. If you are stressed, anxious, irritated just because you're trying to get everything perfect, your house perfect, your room perfect, your routine perfect, but your child feels that you are not present, you are drained of energy, you are anxious and angry, they feel insecure. But if you are relaxed, you're available, you're okay with the mess, you're okay if some days are not perfect, your child feels safe. I've seen this pattern in many clients. Children who grew up with perfectionist parents often become very self-critical and very anxious because they pick up the parents' anxiety. They feel like they are never enough and whatever they do is never going to be perfect enough, and hence they don't even try. This happens because the parents' standards were so high that they could never be met. So let there be some mess, let there be some chaos. The house doesn't have to be spotless and pretty when your children are small. The meals don't have to be Instagram worthy. What matters is you are emotionally available for your child. What matters is your child is enjoying that activity, is 100% in that. Don't try to be a perfect parent, be a present parent. Now, this next point is something most parents don't realize until much later. And by the time a lot of damage is done. That is point number 5. When your toddler does something wrong, what is your first reaction? For most of us, it is a scold, shout, or, oh my God, how could you do this? Arey, don't do it, stop. But here's what I have learned. Discipline and punishment are not the same thing. The word discipline comes from the word disciple, which means to teach. So discipline is about teaching your child what is right and wrong, not about making them suffer for their mistakes. When you punish the child, and you instill fear and shame, they might temporarily change their behavior, but they are not learning the lesson that you want them to learn on why what they did was wrong or why they shouldn't do something or do something. And that fear and shame will stay with them for life. But when you teach the child, explain what happened, why it wasn't okay, and what was the lesson behind it, then next time they would do it differently. This takes more time and more patience, but the learning actually sticks. Remember, punishing, hitting, slapping is a shortcut. It doesn't require effort, it doesn't require patience, but it also damages. So the next time your toddler does something wrong, pause before you react. Ask yourself, am I about to punish? Am I about to react, or what am I trying to teach here? Now, this next point that I'm going to say is even more uncomfortable, but it's also the most important one, so please listen carefully. The point number 6 is that what happened to you in your childhood might be showing up in your parenting reactions today. If your parents yelled at you, threatened you, shouted at you, chances are that you might be doing the same to your child also, unconsciously, automatically, even if you didn't want to do it. If you were emotionally neglected as a child, you might find it hard to emotionally connect to your child, to understand your child's emotional cues, or to give an emotional language to your child. If you were constantly compared to others, you might compare your child to other kids without even realizing it. Or you might compare your parenting style with other parents and not feel good about it. And this might happen very automatically. These are triggers stored inside of you and they are coming from your childhood. When you are stressed or tired, these triggers get activated. I see this every other day in therapy. Parents come and tell me, I didn't want to hit my child, but I just couldn't control it. In that moment, I just lost my cool. And I felt so guilty later on. This is not about blaming your parents. This is about understanding yourself. Because when you understand where your reactions are coming from, you can start to change them. You also realize that your parents probably didn't have half the information that you have today, and they probably didn't know any better. And maybe they were also reacting from their own childhood triggers, right? So if you truly want to be a better parent for your child, look inward first. Understand your own childhood experiences. Recognize your triggers. Work on healing them. The best gift you can give to your child is a healed parent. And finally, there is something I want every parent to hear, especially on those hard days when everything feels overwhelming. Right now, it feels like the days are endless. You are not sleeping well, there are tantrums all around, the house is in a mess, you're exhausted. But these few early childhood, infant and toddler years will pass away quickly. Those chubby hands, those broken words, that running nose, that hugging you when you come home, those tight hugs, the way they say your name, the way they look at you, you're their whole world. All of this will change one day when they start going to school and when they start becoming teenagers, and that's when you will miss it the most. Because when that happens, you won't remember how clean the house was or how much work you had completed. You will only remember how much time you spent together, how much you laughed, how much you played. I've made this mistake with both my children. I was too busy. I was too stressed. I was trying to hold it all together and create this perfect image of a perfect mom, perfect home, good, perfect kids. And I didn't spend too much time having fun with them, enjoying with them, or connecting with them. Now that they are grown up, I wish I had been more present as a parent. I wish I had slowed down. I wish I had been in the moment when I had taken them to the park. So put your phone away. Sit on the floor with them. Play their silly games. Let them climb on you. Let them mess up your hair. Say yes to one or more stories at bedtime. Those moments will never come back. So these are the 7 things I want every parent of a toddler to know. Your reaction matters more than their behavior. Connection is everything. Let them struggle a little. They need your presence, not your perfection. Discipline means teaching, not punishing. And your childhood is affecting your parenting. These 3 years will never come back. Parenting is not easy. But aware parenting, present parenting, conscious parenting is definitely possible. If you have also liked my video, make sure that you share in the comments section on what did you like and if there is anything else you would like to add to what I have shared from my experience. If you haven't already subscribed to my channel, make sure that you click on the like button and subscribe to my channel now for more such content on mental health and parenting. Now, every stage of parenting comes with its own challenges, but there are 2 stages that are particularly difficult and most parents don't know how to navigate them. I have made a video exactly on that. Click on this link in that video. I have talked about what are these 2 hardest phases and what can you do to get through to them without losing your mind or damaging your relationship with your child. So make sure you watch that video and I will see you in the next one.